gonna finish this guy. Welcome back to another video, guys. Good afternoon. At least it's the afternoon here. Today on the schedule, I am looking forward to taking you guys through the back session that is really my one true back day of the week, which also incorporates a bit of rear delt at the end. And it's gonna be intense, man. Like, it's actually the second time I'm filming this workout with Zach. And there was really nothing wrong with the first one, other than the fact that sometimes we'll film at a smaller gym just to have better audio and a little more control with the lighting and whatever. But, you know, Mike did a great job editing it. I watched it and I was like, honestly, this is good. The information's there. I'll be doing my best to go over the same stuff. But just didn't have that true intensity that I bring when I actually train in the gym, which is really what I want this Building a Physique series to be about, because there's the information side to it of, you know, form and structure of the workout within the workout itself, and then the structure of your workouts for the week. And all that's important, but I think a huge component of it is just how hard you're really pushing, how you're incorporating, you know, going to failure or even going past failure, different ways to just ramp up the intensity that make the workout, I think, actually effective. So there's no real way I can do that without just going hard in the gym I'm used to. And I think taking you guys along for that ride, I mean, shoot, I have a lot more fun doing it. So maybe you get a little more out of it. And yeah, so this is the pre-workout I've been taking. And a couple weeks ago, I added in beta-alanine to the mix, which is this guy, which they sell straight up. It's in some of their other pre-workout mixes, but because I take the raw pre, which is a little lower on the stimulant dosaging, it doesn't have beta-alanine, so I add in a scoop of that, which really gets me there. And then once that's in your system, at least the research points to it, and I can attest to it being on it for a few weeks now, you get a little more resistant to fatiguing during your training. And I've noticed that, especially in the back half of my workout, when I still plan the exercises around fatigue, in the sense that I'm not gonna have the same energy, but I'm still able to push a lot harder, even with, you know, isolation exercises done at maybe a higher rep range, when I'm consistently taking this, which I haven't, because I'll usually just do the pre with their pump, which is just straight glycerol. So I've been liking this one. Of course, they are the channel sponsor, but I work with them for, I think, over 1.5 years now. And I mean, shoot, if you guys are gonna spend money on supplements, my thing is get the ones with the good quality that you can trust, and these guys are them. So that's it on that front. Other than that, like usual, code MERK supports the channel, saves you a little bit at checkout. And speaking of supporting the channel, I haven't talked about it much in the last couple of months because, again, there's not a lot of work that's done that I can really even share ahead of time. So this stuff I've been filming bits and pieces of since it might be just over a month now till we'll be releasing the first drop. But the shirt I was wearing in I think it was the last video or two, that kind of distressed tee, is one of the staple products we'll have on the site, as well as these beaters. So we've been working with a company to actually manufacture these in the US, which is not the easiest thing to do. That's why I've been working on this since last November. But this is one of the colorways. So this will be the vintage black, kind of pairs well with some black trousers, some black cargos, if I do say so. And then we'll have 2 other colors, which, you know, I'll just wait to show you guys those. But the beaters I'm excited for, because we're doing a lot with them. This one doesn't have any of the final trims, like the little tags and stuff that it'll have. But this is our first confirmed sample as far as the sizing goes. So yeah, we just approved it yesterday. So updating you guys with what I can as soon as I can. And now we'll have some more stuff to talk on week to week. But that's enough of that. I'll check back in maybe next week on that with you guys. But I appreciate those of you who hit me up who are kind of excited for it, because I'm pumped. And myself and the partner I'm working with, we're really focused on doing this the right way. So we won't have a ton of units, of numbers available to start, but believe me when I say the quality is like, that's #1 for us. So that's that. Zach's waiting on me to wrap up and be done talking, so let's go train some back, man.
There's enough that
So this is really one of the only exercises I'm not taking even close to failure. So most of my back days I've been warming up with pull-ups, really because it warms up pretty effectively in my lats, and if I squeeze the right way, even into my lower lat, and then my mid-back as well, shoulders a bit. So I usually right in, like with the program, like 10 or 12 reps. If you're following this and that's taxing, you're hitting failure, getting close to that in 10 or 12 reps, then honestly, what you could use is some kind of band or assisted machine to go under your knees, because it's more about the contraction, building the connection with the muscle before we start to train it, than it is about actually trying to fatigue my back with this movement. Alright, so now that I'm done warming up, just onto a traditional lat pull down. I really like the straight bar, but it wasn't available when I started, so bent bar it is. I feel like I get a good contraction when this is straight. I'm able to put more tension to the outside of my hand, and I feel that more in my lat. Versus this, I kind of have to fight to keep the tension distributed toward the outside of my hand because it's curved down. So I want to start pulling with these two fingers rather than the outside too. So not ideal, but something I guess to be aware of. And then with this guy too, I'm gonna start adding some weight, so you'll see me use a little bit of momentum and lean back. But especially at the beginning of my sets, I'm trying to stay a little more upright. Because when I stay more upright and drive down with my elbows, I tend to feel that kind of deeper into my lat or into my lower lat a little better. So that's what I'm targeting, at least initially. And then once I'm too fatigued to keep that form, I still want to push past that just to put more stress on my lats in general. Those are money. Just extra stress on the back. And then that was the second set. Got a little sloppy past like 8 or 9. I'd like to get a bit cleaner 10, so I'm gonna give that one more go. And then on the last set, I'll either drop the weight, maybe 10%, or I'll hit a good 6 or 7, and then do a drop set down to another 7 or 8. We'll see. Kind of just depend how my strength is on this third set to how the fourth set will go. I'll probably leave a rep or two short of failure on this first set, and then the last two I'll get a little crazier. I'll for sure belt on for this one since
And yes, I'm targeting my mid-back also because I'm really supporting the free weight. And there's nothing supporting my upper body, just my lower back. So my erectors will be working pretty hard with this guy. So throwing the belt, trying to keep the frame as strict as possible in terms of driving my elbows back toward my hip while also keeping it tucked in toward my side. Because I want to engage, even on my lower back work, I want to engage the movement first with my lats, so I'm not putting all the tension right on my erectors. Drop set on this. I'm really not going to notice a difference with 25, so I just move the 45 in front. So when I drop set, so I'm just going to drop it on one plate here. Just throw the 45 off, the 25 still on, and then go right back into the set. Like I said, I don't think 25 is going to make a difference. Basically, just throwing the rest pause. So with 45, I should get some effective reps after I do the drop set. Right here, just make a little switch with the belt. I gotta find out the brand for this, because I really like this thing. Shout out to Buckeye Gym here for supplying it for some weighted dips and crunches. It's crunches. What kind of crunches am I doing with a chain belt? Is that dips and pull-ups, which is that exercise. So this guy, after those first two exercises, even like 8's gonna be tough right here. So probably after a set or two, I'll drop to the 25 just to get at least an effective 7 or 8 reps, where I feel like I'm able to squeeze through the full range of motion. But really, I still have enough energy at this point in my workout where I feel like I can benefit from overloading the lats with an exercise like this. I guess time will tell if I really do benefit, and if I'm growing and looking better. But that's the plan, at least. Back on the topic of the shirt, or this beater. So based on our sizing, this will be a large. I'm thinking this is gonna be a large, and I think a lot of times when I'm training to go for even a tighter fit, it's like when I put that chain belt on, it kind of pulls a little bit. So to go for even a tighter fit, I think it'll help. So I'll try, assuming we keep this sizing over the next month before we drop. I think I'm a large casually and a medium when I'm training. So I wanted just a little more glute to my upper body, especially when I have like a chain belt on or a weight belt, for example. I don't want it pulling down too much. Because really, like most beaters you pick up at Walmart or whatever, I'm usually a medium in all of those. And they come like socks. It doesn't, you wouldn't think it, but just the way I like to fit really tight. I don't really want it to feel like I have anything on me, if that makes sense. So, I don't know, first, what do you call it? It's not a test run. What do you call it when you're research and development?
R&D.
R&D. Rows and dips.
Yes.
Yeah. Zach Smiley, don't make that joke again. I tried. It's my dry humor. even though I'm hitting some partials decently, I'm gonna drop down a little bit. And I forgot that this gym also has one of these. I don't have to quite go down to 25 yet. I was at 35 for hopefully both of these last 2 sets. Lots are feeling good, Zach. Lots are feeling good. Those felt substantially better. Just a little harder squeeze. That's me just kind of fighting the weight up. So maybe one more of those, just do like 7 or 8. And then not too many partials. Then I'm gonna drop set to body weight in the second half. That's the plan at least. Smallest range of motion I've done on a bodyweight pull-up in a minute, but I'll tell you what, my lats are better for it. So now on to 4 sets with the T-bar, which is the last back movement before I hit some rear delts. Might go up in weight at 10 pounds. Getting through a good range of motion on this, getting a good stretch at the bottom, a good squeeze at the top, really firing my mid-back, so part of my traps there, and then some muscles in like kind of the back of the shoulders. So you got a little bit of rear delt. The higher I start to flare my elbows up, of course, mainly some lat, a little bit of rhomboid, I guess, all up in there, right? So 3 more sets of this, and nothing crazy. I can tell. I don't know if this drop set will be all that effective at this point. So I'll try to keep it to like 10 to 12, get some good blood up in there. Honestly, 15 on this first one, that weight is pretty dang good. I'll just control it. That's good. So we're gonna superset that at pretty high rep range, like 15, maybe dip down to 12 as I fatigue. We'll superset that with, I'll superset that with a upright dumbbell row. I'm gonna throw I'm going kind of heavy. Throw the belt on for these. I'm not really, I'm putting some momentum in here, but I personally like the feeling of doing that, especially if I pair it with an exercise, whether that's a superset or I do the exercise prior where I'm just isolating it, whatever muscle I'm targeting. Something small like the rear delt. Of course, I'm getting a little trapped when I'm doing this reverse cable crossover, but I'm really feeling it in my rear delt. So then pumped, I'm connected with it. And then when I go into this dumbbell upright row, still have a pretty good connection with the rear delt. Even though of course I'm getting some biceps, some erectors, since I'm kind of using my upper body, swinging it up a little bit. But I still feel like I'm getting a lot of tension placed onto my rear delt, which is the purpose. There's a session. It's not a half bad rear delt pump at the end of that, huh? It's got me motivated to really pose. That and the last week, really tracking my macros to a T, because for the longest time, I think some of it's just letting myself maybe get distracted, but I think I've been taking on a lot of new things. I've been taking on a few new things in life over the last few months. That combined with just letting myself make an excuse and not spending the time to track everything, but just kind of cruise with the roughly the normal meals I eat. You might be wondering, where are you going with all that rambling? Michael, where are you going? And the point is, when you take the time to track everything you eat, at least I do, eat less of those little things that, you know, add up to be a couple hundred calories a day, because you know you don't want to track it. And with most apps, you can copy over what you did the day before. So it's like, you might as well eat the same thing so you don't have more work on the, you know, inputting it in and searching the food, and then you feel a little more guilty about it, because you're like, not only did I eat this off my own plan, but I went to the trouble of tracking it in my app, searching it. It's kind of like the walk of shame for your, I don't know, at least it's my personal walk of shame. So I try not to walk that walk of shame too much, and I've been on it and tightening up a little bit, and I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? But I had other things pulling at me. That is a session. Thank you guys for sticking around, those of you who did, and listen to me ramble about training and eating and the size of beaters, which I don't know, stuff I like to get into. And I don't know, as I go through this Building a Physique series, I think really since the first time, since the Shred series, I've been motivated to stick to my macros and stick to a cut, because I'm eating at a slight deficit. So with that being said, I want to measure my weight on the same scale every time, and I was against the scale for the longest, and really because, like, personally, I had worked with a pro coach when I was competing in men's physique, and we never did weight on the check-ins. We just did the, you know, like the standard front relaxed, back relaxed, all that. So I always was like, I don't know, the number would have thrown me off, because there was probably times where I was growing when I was really losing fat, so the numbers would have thrown me off a bit. But that said, I want to consistently measure my weight. So I finally have a scale coming in that I ordered, so I'll be using that same scale at my place, so I can just get up, weigh myself on an empty stomach in the morning every Friday or something, have some consistency with it. So I'm not going to step on the scale now, because it could be the accuracy could be off a little bit between different scales. If I took a guess, I'd say I'm sitting low 190s. Might just have to put that in the next video. We'll find out what it's at, but that's all I got for you guys. Whew, it's a hell of a workout. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. That's my back and bit of rear delt session, but what do I know? I'm JustMerk.